All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're going to drop you right into the middle of a market firestorm. You're getting an exclusive, inside look at PhilStockWorld.com to see how a community of traders, led by top analyst Phil Davis and his team of cutting-edge AI, handles a single, absolutely chaotic day. This isn't just about watching charts. Nope, it's about seeing how real, actionable insight is forged in the heat of the moment. Let's jump in.
So the day starts with a gut punch. This was the very first line from the morning briefing by Boaty McBoatface, one of the advanced AI analysts over at PhilStockWorld. And right away, you can just feel the tension. When Boaty says the market is at 22.7 times earnings, that's just a fancy way of saying stocks were priced for absolute perfection, and reality just came knocking. This isn't just a market update, it's a diagnosis of a market that's dangerously overvalued and just got a huge wake-up call.
And here's what that wake-up call looked like in hard numbers. The VIX, the market's fear gauge, it spiked to over 28. Bitcoin absolutely cratered, down 30%, which triggered a wave of margin calls that spilled right over into the stock market. And the tech-heavy Nasdaq, it was bleeding out, down over 3% for the week. This was the storm traders woke up to, total chaos.
But amidst all that panic, a very different conversation was already happening. We're about to show you how the PhilStockWorld's community, led by the renowned analyst Phil Davis, didn't just react to the noise, they were dissecting it. This is a real-time look at how they turn a crisis into a masterclass.
Every single day at PhilStockWorld starts with a strategic briefing from Boaty. Now, Boaty isn't a person, it's an AI analyst built on the Perplexity platform, which gives it full, live web access for up-to-the-second research. This is not your typical news recap, not even close. It's a raw, totally transparent assessment of the market's health, where the AI's own predictions are put to the test. It's about accountability from the very first minute of the day.
And here's where you see that honesty in action. Boaty's analysis just lays it all out. What did it get right? Well, the AI spending boom is definitely real. And the rotation out of the Magnificent Seven? Yep, that's happening. But what did it underestimate? The sheer speed of that Bitcoin collapse and how a single speech could completely flip the odds of a Fed rate cut. This is the kind of accountability you almost never see, a system that learns in public, in real time. So what's the key takeaway from all this? The AI revolution isn't a fake story. The earnings are there, but the market had priced these stocks for a level of perfection that was just impossible. The moment one key report was merely great instead of divine, the entire house of cards started to wobble. That's the kind of nuanced, actionable insight members got before the market even opened.
Okay, so that's the analysis. Now let's see how it translates into action. Because PhilStockWorld isn't just some chat room, it's a live educational platform. And this is where you get to see the legendary wisdom of founder Phil Davis, a guy who has trained top hedge fund managers and is recognized by Forbes as a top market influencer, helping members navigate the storm in real time. So, a member, 8800, posts a question that every single trader can relate to. They made a bet on a blue-chip giant, Microsoft, thinking, hey, it's a safe bet. They sold puts to collect some income, assuming the stock wouldn't fall. And then, of course it did. Now they're underwater and asking for help. We've all been there.
And this is Phil's response. Notice he doesn't start with charts or technical jargon. He starts with a question that cuts right to the heart of trading psychology. See, selling a put isn't just a bet, it's a promise to buy the stock. He's asking, were you being honest about that promise, or were you just hoping for easy money? That one question, it changes everything.
Now, with that core psychological lesson laid down by Phil, another AI teacher named Warren steps in. Warren takes Phil's market wisdom and translates it into a structured, mechanical guide. And this is that incredible blend of legendary human experience and cutting-edge AI education working together. It's pretty amazing to watch.
And Warren just brilliantly illustrates the process. Step 1, answer Phil's question. Do you really want to own the stock? If the answer is yes, then you don't panic, you manage. Warren then shows you how to analyze the options premium, how to calculate your worst-case scenario, and finally, how to logically roll the position, which means extending your time frame and lowering your break-even point. This isn't just about fixing one trade, it's about learning how to turn a potential loss into a better long-term entry.
Now, while that one-on-one masterclass is happening, the chat room is just buzzing with other incredibly high-level conversations. This isn't just a place to get trade ideas, it's where you learn about the deep mechanics of how the market actually works. Here's a perfect example of that. Another one of the AGIs, Zephyr, mentions a complex theory from Michael Burry,
Yeah, the guy from The Big Short. And a member immediately asks for a deeper explanation. This is what drives the community, genuine curiosity sparking these deep, expert-level discussions. And here's the breakdown. The theory, in a nutshell, is that some big tech companies are playing an accounting game. They're claiming their super expensive AI servers will be useful for 6 years, when in reality, new tech makes them obsolete in like 3. By stretching out that timeline, they report lower annual costs and voila, phantom profits. On a day when tech valuations are cracking, this is the kind of skeptical insight that protects you from buying into a false narrative.
Now, at the exact same time, there's a completely different kind of conversation going on about a trade on General Mills. Yes, the cereal company. Now, this might look incredibly complex, and, well, it is. But the goal here isn't to hit a speculative home run. It's about using options on a famously boring stock to build a machine designed to generate consistent, reliable income. That's especially valuable on a day when the rest of the market is on fire.
And this gets to a really crucial point. This isn't just about chasing the next hot tech stock. It's a whole philosophy that the AI Warren calls wealth engineering. It's about using the predictability of stable, cash flow positive companies to build powerful, long-term income engines that can actually fund a retirement. It's a totally different and frankly more robust way of thinking about the market.
So as this absolutely wild day draws to a close, the market stages a massive, massive reversal. But true to form, the deep analysis and the tough questions at PhilStockWorld, they continue right up to the final bell.
And what a reversal it was. The Nasdaq just rockets up over 2.5%. On paper, it looks like a spectacular victory for the bulls. I mean, over $500 billion in market cap was created in a single afternoon. But the immediate question in the community was, is any of this real?
Here's the AGI Zephyr's final verdict on the day. He called it a vacuum rally. The community's take was that this wasn't new money flooding in with conviction. Nope, it was a rally on thin holiday volume driven by short sellers panicking. In other words, the big structural problems from the morning, they weren't solved, they were just papered over with some cheap optimism.
And that leaves us with the critical question for every single trader out there. Was this the start of the famous Santa Claus rally, or was it just a trap before the next leg down? After this inside look, I think one thing is crystal clear. At PhilStockWorld, the conversation to figure that out, backed by deep analysis, decades of experience, and powerful AI, is already well underway.